Hello, this is Seek Out and Play, and we're going to do a first turn of Attack of the Mutants, a game that came out in 1980 and published by Uquinto, a game company that was around for a few years during the golden age of wargaming. And this little product is an album game, which, as you can see, you see both sides here. And here is the game map, and then here is the battle board. And what I'm going to do for you today is just go through the first turn and to show you the mechanics of how that turn works and how the game basically plays. So as you see, everything is set up, and the mutants must occupy all the squares that are around the building, but I've decided to overload these two sides here, so they attack from both sides. The objective is to get to the tech room. And if the mutants succeed in getting 2 in the tech room by turn 10, then they win the game. If the humans maintain 2 people in the tech room, they win the game. Any other result is a draw. So the first thing we're going to do is the door smashing phase, in which the mutants must crash through the doors in order to make it inside. So we're going to start left to right with the mutants going forward. As you see that there is 1 mutant here. Here is a door on the table, which is upside down, unfortunately for you. I have to roll a single die, a 6-sided die, and I will roll that die, and if I get a 1, it goes through. If not, it stays in place. A 3. So that one doesn't go. I'm going to turn it slightly just to keep track. Now here, as you see, are 3 mutants in one space, and they're going to try to crash through this door, and the number I have to roll is a 4. 1, 2, 3, or 4. A 5 or 6, I don't go through. 1, so they go through. So I'm going to move them here to indicate that on the movement phase, they can step in through the door. Same thing here, 3 mutants trying to get in. I roll a 1, they get in. Same thing here, 3 mutants trying to get in. I roll a 5, they do not go in. Here, 3 mutants, they make it through. 3 mutants here. I roll a 4, they make it through. 1 mutant here, nope. And I'm going to pause it here to show you how at the end of this step you have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of mutants that have made it through the doors during the phase. Okay, I have completed the door smashing step, which is the first step. As you can see, some mutants have made it in, others have not. The second step in this phase is the door opening phase, which means that if there were a mutant inside and mutants outside the mutant inside the door could let in the mutants on the outside. That situation does not exist here, it does not exist because the mutants haven't actually entered the building yet. So we're going to go ahead and skip that step and go to the movement step. And the movement step here is where the mutants will then enter. So they enter here, 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 here. And I'll just quickly move the ones that are eligible. They go in there, here, 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 and then of course in here. So they were somewhat successful, and during this phase we use markers to indicate that the door has been smashed open. And what this does is it allows other mutants, for example, this mutant here during their movement phase, can then move here and then enter the doorway. And what I will do is mark each of these areas in which each of these doors that have been smashed. I have now placed all the they're very small markers, but I have placed all the door opening markers here, the doors that have been smashed. So they are now placed. So now the next step is movement, which is pretty quick since most of the mutants are already inside. I will simply move the ones that I have not moved inside all the way. And that completes all the mutants that can move inside. So now I'm going to move mutants one space here, so that way they can follow. I don't allow mutants to cross corners, so I'm going to move this mutant here. I'm going to move this guy here, and I can straighten them out as I do it because now done. I'm going to move them here, and we're going to make this a big group here. Move these down. Same thing here. Move that one there. Follow them here. Move that one there. And move these down here. So that should complete the movement phase for the mutants. Now we go to the combat phase. And I'm just going to use one example, and we might as well use this one right here. And I place the combat marker, and I move this poor little Janobot over here, and they have to face 3 mutants. And I'm going to line them up against the radioactive one first, because radioactive mutants have a shorter life. So, combat's pretty simple. You look at it's very small, you can't see it, but each one of these units has a combat value. And so if you roll that value or less on a 6-sided die, they score a hit on the opposing side. So I'm going to roll this one for the Janobot. That's a 1. This Janobot is at a 2, so it hits this mutant. And I'm going to roll this mutant here. And his attack against a Janobot is also a 1 or 2. Rolls a 6. And so this Janobot this mutant gets destroyed. I'm going to move it off screen here. Next combat phase, we move these 2 down, and we repeat the same thing. Janobot attacks, hit. Janobot is 1 lucky Janobot. Here, it's also a J2, so it's got to roll a 1 or 2. It does not. This one gets destroyed, this one moves down. This is 1 excellent Janobot. Rolled a 2, so it's a hit. Rolled a 3, a miss. This Janobot has destroyed 3 mutants. The mutants are destroyed. The Janobot is then returned to Exhibit Hall B. I will now complete all the combat for this phase for the mutant side. Okay, I have completed combat for the mutant combat phase. 6 mutants perished, while 5 Janobots also lost their robot lives. That's fairly typical in this game, in which you have, if you set up the Janobots early like I did, and put them in the way of mutants as they come crashing through the door. So, the next phase, which we go to, is the human movement phase. Now, Janobots cannot move, but the humans, as you see here, 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 and here, can pick up Janobots and move them to other rooms. So, the key here is to pick up some Janobots, is to use the humans to pick up some Janobots to fight the mutants that are crashing through, and letting the barriers stop the other mutants from coming in, buying enough time for the tech room. So in this case, I could move, for example, this here, but I'm outmatched. So what I might do instead is I'll move Jeb here, and then that gives 4 in this room for defense. And I'm going to move Percy here. I'm going to move him back to here so he can collect this Janobot. And I'm going to move Mac over here to collect this Janobot. And I'm going to move poor Otis over here to collect this Janobot. And Buck, our football-playing hero, I'm going to move here. Actually, I'm going to move him forward to here because this Janobot survived the battle. And that is the human movement phase. It's probably not optimal, but I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. So have any of the humans moved into combat with or in the same room with mutants? No, they have not. There would be a human combat phase if I did. For example, let's say if I move these units in here, or if I decided to challenge some of the mutants right away, that would be part of the human combat phase. So we're going to go ahead and skip that because you've already seen the mutant combat phase. So the human combat phase is essentially the same. You move into the room, fight the mutants the same way that you fight, that the mutant combat phase goes. And so we're just going to go to the glow and go phase. And the glow and go phase concerns these, the red mutants, which are all radioactive. We're going to start here, and if I roll a 6, he goes. The radiation consumes him, and that's it. 1, no. I'm going to move here, and there's 2 here. So there's 1, 2, so I'm going to roll 2 dice just to speed this up a bit, and no 6s. Here you have Kitten, and Minerva. Oh, you got 2 right here. So we're going to roll 2 dice again, nothing. And then here we have Trixie. She's radioactive. Oh, pardon me. I'm going to roll 1 die for that. Nope. And now here you have Rusty. He's just 1, so we roll 1 die for that. Nope, he makes it. Chatsworth. I always love these names. Rookie. Those are 2, so I'm going to roll 2 dice. If I get a 6 on either roll, one of them goes. Nope. Here you have 3, you have 4. All piled up. So I'm going to roll 4 dice. No 6s. This is highly unusual. It's not all that uncommon for me to roll 6s all the time. There's 2 here, no 6s. And then here, there's 1, roll 1 die, nothing. Here, there's 1, roll 1 die, nothing. Wow, you're seeing history in the making here. There's 1, roll 1 die, no. Here, 2 dice, no 6s, unbelievable. Any 6s would have eliminated one of those red units, but that did not happen. Now that we're done with that, the turn marker, which would be here, goes from 1, and we go to the next turn. And again, the objective is for the mutants to come in and take the tech room, and for the humans to keep them out as best they can. Thank you for watching this demonstration of the first turn of Attack of the Mutants.